Today is the big day because I'm getting ready to find out whether or not I can build a living Shinydex in Pokemon Lazy Green version. Yes, that's right. I want your burger here, and thank you so much for joining me today. I've been having so much fun with this little mini-series, and I gotta say, it's a little bit sad that it looks like it's gonna be the last leg of that journey. Now, if you missed last episode, you ought to go check it out. We encountered our first shiny legendary bird, and we caught a ton of shinies in the Safari Zone. Are you wondering why there are so many shinies before you? Well, I'll tell you, Pokemon Lazy Green has a 5% shiny encounter rate. That is humongous. That means they are everywhere. But it's still a challenge finding them. If you've been following along with me so far, you'll know that I have been up and down Kanto searching far and wide. However, there were still a few spots that I had not yet visited. So naturally, after catching all of the remaining shinies I needed inside Pokemon Mansion on Cinnabar Island, I thought I would head just east because at Seafoam Islands, there were 3 I still needed to add to my Pokedex. That's right, of course, we have Seal and Dugong, but let's not forget the legend Articuno. This time I was prepared. The last legendary bird took over 22 minutes to capture. So I cannot tell you how surprised I was when on the first encounter I saw the shiny Articuno. And of course, I took some time to optimize my team just a little bit because that last legend was a little bit too scary for my liking. Now my major challenge was to ensure that Articuno did not knock itself out using the move Struggle, especially since it was shiny on the first encounter. There was no telling if it would be 40, 50, or 60 resets before it appeared again. Just 38 Ultra Balls later, and Articuno is alive and well inside the PC. Thank goodness. So while I was on a roll with these legendary birds, I figured let's go grab the last one, Zapdos, back at the power plant, where we're also going to evolve our Pikachu and encounter some new shinies that we had not previously. How lucky am I? The very first one was probably the lowest encounter right there, an Electabuzz. And on top of that, it happened to be S tier in terms of its IVs. 3 shinies remain in the power plant for me to collect. The first one I'm gonna find is Magneton, then a Magnemite, before heading towards that legend Zapdos. Now, Zapdos was a little bit different from Articuno in the respect that it took 28 resets to encounter its shiny form, but it only took 22 Ultra Balls as opposed to 38. And just like that, I have only 21 more entries to make in my shiny living dex. I'm so excited. And a few of these are going to be static encounters. First one will actually be a static encounter that does not necessarily require you to reset. Since the Game Corner coins are cheaper, I can purchase multiple Porygons until I find the one that is shiny. Now there are other static encounters throughout the game where you can get a shiny, including from this jerk who doesn't want his Charmander anymore. So, as many resets as it takes, I'll take them all off your hands just to prove a point. And little did this trainer know that he gave up a very special Charmander. Cole's happens to be shiny. Now, I am aware that I will still have to obtain 2 more shiny Charmanders in order to complete the living dex, but for now, I'm going to evolve him into his final form and add some digits to the ticker. With just 17 entries left, it was time to claim the Earth Badge and make my way towards the Indigo Plateau. Now, of course, Hot Dog is around every corner trying to slow us down, but he stands no chance despite his knack for saying awfully weird and mean things like, "You smell." Somewhere nearby, I'm going to encounter an NPC that will give me a shiny Mew. Yes, a shiny Mew I could have had before even facing Brock. But you know what they say, better late than never. Inside Victory Road, I'm going to find this NPC specifically because he is kind enough to give me infinite eggs. Yes, that's right, infinite eggs. All the eggs I can hatch, and they all contain a random starter. So if you remember from episode 1, I did choose Bulbasaur as our starter, but unfortunately it was not a shiny. Because I inadvertently accepted the Squirtle from the NPC in Vermilion City, I ended up hatching well over 200 of these eggs just to obtain enough shiny starters to fill out a living dex. I couldn't believe it. I was getting so close. Now, I would have to face the Elite Four before I could gain access to the Cerulean Cave in order to find that shiny Mewtwo, and one final battle with my rival Hot Dog. And here we were. It was time to use the Master Ball. The only question was, how many resets would it require? I ran into this cave spraying Max Repel because I only had one Pokemon in mind, and there it stood before me. In just 7 resets, Pokemon Lazy Green's increased shiny odds was making a dream come true. So, it was finally time to add it to the Pokedex, and I was so excited. I was this close to reaching my goal. That brings us to 142 out of 151, but what exactly are we missing? You might have noticed that I've not revived any fossils just yet. Now, the good thing about fossils is that I can reset as many times as I need in order to revive a shiny fossil. Now, of course, I can evolve the revived fossil into its shiny form, but I can't add a digit to the ticker. Fortunately, the old Amber can be revived into a shiny Aerodactyl and added to the ticker. But the same thing applies to the Dome Fossil, which this rocket gives me in Fuchsia City in this version. But again, I cannot add its evolution to the ticker. It was very frustrating. Because I was building a living shiny dex, I would have needed an additional shiny Ammonite and an additional shiny Kabuto. But the sad fact is that in-game trades with NPCs only traded you fixed value Pokemon. No matter if I traded a shiny Pikachu or a shiny Spearow for something, it didn't matter. I wouldn't be able to complete it, and this applied to Farfetch'd, Jinx, Mr. Mime, and Lickitung. I only hoped that Professor Oak would understand, and the truth is, he was actually quite pleased with me because I was able to obtain all 151, that is, the entire Kanto Pokedex, in its living form. Now, they weren't all shiny, but they were a ton of fun to collect. And so I present to you my Kanto Living Dex, asterisk, almost 100% shiny, but living nonetheless. So again, thank you for showing up today. I hope you've enjoyed this journey with me, and let me know what you think in the comments below, or just tell me what was your favorite shiny we encountered. there you have it, folks. All 151 Kanto Pokemon happily living inside of the PC system. And just when I think it's over, Professor Oak asks for some more time and reveals to me that this may not be the last leg of this journey. That some rare Pokemon have been appearing lately, and your boy has to check it out. Does that mean that it's not over?